Hi students, here is yet another short PowerPoint presentation to help you figure out and learn how to integrate sources into your speeches. We're going to talk about your ideas, they always come first, and then we're going to talk about the research that you're going to find to support your ideas. Here are the core principles. Your ideas, I just said this, your ideas are always first. You get to outline your thoughts about how you want a speech to look. And then you use sources to support them. Your sources don't replace ideas. They are just a small part of the presentation to help you get your point across. You're the speaker, and the research is your evidence. It's not your script. So we're going to talk about brainstorming first, and that you're going to start with things that you know about the topic. And the topics for this class, this semester, are all somewhat personal. They're all topics that you have experience with, and that is a plus. It makes it easier for you. Then we'll talk about research comes next. You use sources to fill gaps. You add credibility, statistics, expert research to supplement and help you get your point across. And finally, you speak for yourself. Your voice is the most important. You have so much knowledge and experience in the world, in your community, with school, with family, with everything that you participate in, and this helps frame your perspective. And then you support your perspective with some evidence. All right, let's talk about my favorite topic ever. Okay, not really. I don't know, it's what all teachers talk about these days is AI. So let's talk about it. AI can give you some words, but it can't give you a POV, a point of view. Only you have a point of view. In public speaking, your point of view is key. It makes you different from another student and from the rest of the class. So here's some things to remember. AI produces generic, boring, canned words and phrases. You produce original ideas. Should I say it again? AI produces boring stuff. How do I know? I know. I read it all the time. How do I know if you're using AI? I know within 2 words. 2. That's it. 2. Keep that in mind. AI has no experience. AI has not been to a Bulls game or a Knicks game. They have not been to the lake with their family. They have not been on a camping trip. They've not been to Milwaukee. They haven't been to a museum. They haven't been anywhere. Their lives are so dull and boring. Your lives are interesting. They cannot tell your story. They don't know what happened on the camping trip. They don't know what happened to the lake. They do not know what happened at the Sox game or Cubs game. But you do. You have details, experiences, interactions. AI doesn't have any of it. Trust yourself. You bring your own story and your own voice. Your voice is unique in what makes you interesting. If you don't want to sound interesting, if you want to sound boring, go ahead, try using AI. AI can't give you knowledge or earn you a grade. AI is going to make you do terribly in this class, guaranteed. But your thinking, which is smart thinking, can get you success and can perhaps earn you a better grade. Here's what it comes down to. Even if I can't prove you're using AI, I know it affects, it's human nature. It affects how professors see your work. You don't ever want that to be in question. That's it. Okay, onward. So let's talk about brainstorming. Before you open a browser or search a database, answer these questions for yourself. What do you know about the topic? I'm sure you know a lot. Take notes, brainstorm. They don't have to be in a specific order. They can, but they don't have to be. Just write what you know or type what you know. Then think about what's your main argument or purpose. What do you want to communicate to the class? What's your point of view? What questions do you have that research can help? So here's what research does. It helps you answer questions. It helps fill the gaps. It doesn't create the outline or the actual text for you. Your answers become the foundation and the research fills the gaps. That's how research works. So again, You have ideas, you brainstorm, you outline, you fill them in, you think about it more, and then you go to research to plug in the gaps where you need help, where you need advice, and where you need a statistic. Let's talk more about how sources back up your ideas and how they fit into your outline and your speech. One thing they can do is they can back up a claim. Let's say you're talking about something in your community and you say, I think, or crime seems like it's up, or crime seems like it's down. Well, it might seem like that, but can you back it up? How do you know? You can use a statistic. A number can help the audience become more involved and understand what you're saying better. So for example, let's say you're talking about traffic in Chicago and how much time Chicagoans spend getting from point A to point B, and you say, well, they spend a lot. Well, a lot is not, what's a lot? Get a number. Get the average amount of time a person spends commuting either on public transit or on the highway in Chicago. You can get an expert opinion about what your topic is. Maybe there is some organization that does research in Chicago about an issue in your community. Find out, use a source. And also you can use a real world example. Case studies can make your points come alive as well. This is a little bit of a review from the previous slide, but here are 3 types of sources that are common for students to use in their speeches. First, expert testimony. This is a quote or a paraphrase from somebody with authority on a topic. It could be a professor, a doctor, a researcher, or a recognized professional. It could be a community worker in Chicago, a community organizer, someone that has expertise on your community. You can also use real-world examples, case studies, or a news story, or a personal account that has been attributed to a person and that you found via a library search. All of these can make a point more memorable. And data and statistics, of course. Government data, numbers from a credible source. And what do I mean by credible? I mean a source, again, that you have found through a library search. This is very important. It can't come from a blog. It can't come from a social media post. Not credible. They're not considered credible for research for a college paper or a college speech. When you're giving a speech, and this is similar to when you're writing an essay, you include sources in the body of the essay, in the body of the speech. But in a speech, you have to verbally cite them. They are part of your speech. So here are some examples of how you can do that. You can simply say, according to the American Psychological Association, this number of people suffer from this. And that is in your speech. You can also say something like, research from the American Psychological Association shows that. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that. This amount of people, and you keep going, etc. You can do something like, as Juanita Smith, the principal of Jones College Prep in Chicago, explains. You can make it like that. You can do something like, in a 2023 study published in New England Journal of Medicine, this is what they reported. So you're going to be doing this in your speech as you talk. And then at the end, you're going to do this in the outline. You don't have to do this, well, you're not doing it in a speech because you're speaking. But in the outline, you will include your sources, and you get to choose between MLA or APA as you wish. Okay, that's it for this slide. To sum up everything I've talked about so far, about 70 to 80% of the content of your speech comes from you. They're your words, your voice, your POV, your point of view, your ideas, your reasoning. You, the student. The other 20 to 30%, that comes from sources, evidence, statistics, expert support. Again, about 70 to 80 is you, your ideas, you're outlining. 20 to 30 is support for your ideas. If you're reading research the whole time, you are not delivering a speech. You're reading a report or a paper. It's very different. In order for your speech to sound unique and original and conversational and engaging, the balance should be like this, okay? 70 to 80% you, 20 to 30% research, things that you have found to support your ideas. I hope that comes across to you, and I hope that makes sense. These are the keys to delivering a really good speech. So good luck.